Good morning, students. This is your teacher Neelam Elawat, and today we'll continue our chapter that is Human Health and Diseases. Dear students, yesterday we have spoken about the concept of health, right? And we have talked about what are the various common diseases that infect us, right? So today we'll continue further, and we'll start with the concept of immunity. Dear students, every day we are exposed to a large number of infectious agents, right? We are exposed to a large number of pathogens. It may be the bacteria, viruses, or any other microorganism. But yet, only a few of these exposures result into a disease. Why this happens? This is because our body has a mechanism to defend itself, right? Our body has a mechanism and it can protect itself from these foreign agents. This ability of our body to fight with various infecting agents is referred to as immunity. So dear students, immunity means the ability of our body, the ability of an organism to fight with various infecting agents or various infections. And this ability is of two types. One is an innate ability. Innate means a non-specific ability. And second is an acquired ability. Acquired immunity means which is very specific in nature. Okay, so there are two types of immunity, innate and the acquired. Let's talk about the innate or the non-specific immunity. Now this immunity is inborn. Inborn means it is present in us by birth. Okay, it is a natural immunity. And it is of two types. First, it is because of the surface barriers. Okay, it is because of the surface barriers. And second, because of the cellular and biochemical barriers. So these are the two agents of innate immunity. Okay, these are the two things that provide us with natural immunity. So these two, they are most important one. One is a surface barrier, another is a circular and biochemical barrier. Barrier, I hope you know. Barrier means something which stops you. Something that stops your path. So coming to the surface barrier, barrier is a first defense. It is a first line of defense. And it includes basically your external barriers, like external barriers that will prevent the entry of pathogens into the body. Right? It could be your skin also. So skin is one of your surface barriers. Right, everyone? So skin comes under your first line of defense and it comes under your surface barrier. Now, your surface barrier can be categorized into your physical barrier or the pathological barrier. Okay, dear students, it could be a physical barrier or a pathological barrier. The pathological barrier is also called as a chemical barrier. The physical barrier. So physical barrier includes your skin. Physical means something which is visible to us. So skin, your hair, right? And the small hairs that are present in your nose. The mucus lining and the muscular actions. So all these, they act as your physical barriers. Coming to your skin prevents the entry of pathogens. Okay, your complete body, it is surrounded by your skin and this prevents the entry of microorganisms into the body. The skin has sweat glands. I hope you've heard this name. The skin has sweat glands and these sweat glands produce sweat and oil produced by the sebaceous glands. So your skin basically contains two types of glands. One is your sweat gland and second is your sebaceous gland. Right, everyone? So sweat glands, they produce sweat, and sebaceous gland, it produces the oil. Okay, and both these, the sweat and you can say the oil, they are antibacterial, right? Right, they have antibacterial properties and they are fungicidal properties. So they does not allow the growth of bacteria and fungus on the skin. Okay, everyone, they does not allow the growth of fungus or the bacteria on the skin. See, you can see the location of the sweat gland, and you can also see the sebaceous gland, right? Sebaceous gland is also there. So both of these glands, they secrete the sweat and the oil, and this two components, they have antibacterial action. They does not allow the bacteria and fungus to grow on the skin. Then is your mucus lining. Right, everyone? See, mucus lining is present in your respiratory system also. It is present in your digestive system also. It is also present in your urinary tract, and the reproductive tract also secretes mucus. This mucus traps the microorganisms. ये जो mucus है, ये microorganisms को trap कर लेता है and makes them immobilize. Okay, it makes them immobile, so that they are trapped inside the mucus. They are not able to move. Okay, they cannot enter inside your body. They are trapped in the way. The second is called the physiological barrier. The physiological barrier basically includes the chemical secretions. Right? It includes the chemical secretions that are produced by lysosomes. It could be produced in the skin, saliva, ear wax. Ear wax is found in your ear. Right? It is a fluid which is present in the wax which is produced in the ear. The lysozyme, it is also an antibacterial enzyme. And this enzyme, it is present in tears, nasal secretion, means it is present in your nose, it is present in your saliva and most of your body fluids, and it kills the bacteria. It has an antibacterial nature and it kills the bacteria. Okay, everyone? Okay. Second, your skin secretion. As I told you earlier, the skin contains the sweat glands, right, and the sebum glands, and both of their secretions, they are antibacterial in nature, they are antifungal in nature, and they stop the growth of bacteria and the fungus on the skin. Then saliva. Dear students, I hope you remember your digestive system. We know that mouth is the first component of your alimentary canal, and in the mouth, saliva is produced. And this saliva contains an enzyme which is called lysozyme. And the lysozyme also kills the bacteria. Then in your gut, there is gastric juice, isn't it? So your stomach produces gastric juice which contains HCl, and that also kills the bacteria which enter the stomach along with the food. Then is your ear wax. Ear wax is produced in your ear. It is produced in your auditory canal, and that is also bactericidal in nature, and it repels insects and it traps the dust particles. The second component is cellular and biochemical barrier. So far we were talking about the surface barriers. Now we'll talk about the cellular and biochemical barriers. Okay, and this makes your second line of defense. Your first line of defense is your surface barriers, and your second line of defense is your cellular and biochemical barriers. This includes phagocytes, the different cells. Basically it includes various cells. The phagocytes, the natural killer cells, the interferons, and the inflammatory response. Okay. Now coming to the first, that is your phagocytes. These cells, they basically engulf and destroy the microbes. तो ये वो सेल्स हैं जो आपके बैक्टीरिया को इनगल्फ कर लेते हैं, वायरस को इनगल्फ कर लेते हैं और इसे डिस्ट्रॉय कर देते हैं. And these cells, they are involved in the phagocytosis, right? They are involved in phagocytosis. Your neutrophils, that is your RBC, your neutrophils, okay, that is your RBC. Monocytes, which are also called as macrophages. They are the two WBCs that are very important in phagocytic cells. So these two cells, they also are phagocytic in nature. They trap the waste material, or you can say the cells, and destroy them. Phagocytosis, you just imagine, let's understand how does it occur. Suppose there is a pathogen particle, okay? There is a pathogen particle. So this is your cell which is involved into it. This cell will engulf this particle, that is your virus or maybe bacteria, right? And this particle which has been engulfed in it is called phagosome. Okay, it is called phagosome. Now this cell will pour the lysosomes into it. The lysosomes, they will digest this, right? They will digest this bacteria or the virus, and then it is removed out of the body. Okay, then it is removed out of the body. So first of all, there is chemotaxis and adherence of microorganisms to the phagocytotic cell. Then the cell will be ingested. Then there is a formation of phagosome. Phagosome means your lysosomes plus your waste, or you can say the virus or bacteria. So that will result in the formation of phagosome. Then the fusion of phagosome with the lysosome, that will form the phagolysosome. Then there is a digestion. The enzymes which are present in the lysosome, they will digest the food, digest the material, isn't it? And there is a formation of residual body containing the indigestible substance, and then the substance is thrown out of the cell, or it may be your WBC, right? It could be your leukocytes or some other cell like phagocytes also. Then is your natural killer cells. The next type of cells, they are called natural killer cells. The natural killer cells, they are non-phagocytic in nature. Okay, these cells, they are not phagocytic, they are non-phagocytic in nature. Okay, so they identify the viral infected cells in tumors. ये जो cells हैं, ये हमारे उन cells को identify कर लेते हैं जो virus से infected हैं, और उन्हें identify करने के बाद उन्हें destroy कर देते हैं by secreting cytolysin. तो ये cytolysin secrete करते हैं, and then they destroy that particular cell which is infected by the virus or the bacteria. Okay, everyone? Suppose this one, let's talk about natural killer cells. Suppose this is your natural killer cell. This is your natural killer cells. On its surface, you can see the inhibitory receptors. There are special proteins which are expressed on the surface of the natural killer cell, and these receptors, they are called inhibitory receptors. Okay, inhibitory receptors. And it also had MHC class 1 molecules. जो हमारा natural killer cell है, उसके surface पे MHC molecules attach होते हैं, and these MHC molecules, they identify the cell, whether the cell is a normal cell or it is infected with bacteria. Suppose it is a natural cell, so there will be no destruction of the cell. And if your natural killer cells, they attach with the cell, and the cell is a tumorous cell, then in that case the cell will be destroyed. So your natural killer cells, they identify, they recognize whether the cell is infected with virus or not, or whether the cell is a tumorous cell or it is a normal cell. Interferons. So third that we have in this category is the interferons. The interferons are basically antiviral glycoproteins. Okay, they are antiviral glycoproteins. So interferons, they are antiviral glycoproteins, right? Suppose there is an animal cell. Just imagine this is your animal cell. Okay, right? What is it called? Animal cell. So suppose there is a cell and some virus infects it. ठीक है, हमारे पास एक animal cell है, इसमें now this cell becomes infected with the virus. So now we call it as infected animal cell. Okay, now this infected animal cell, it will release certain proteins. Okay, this will produce certain proteins which are called as antiviral proteins. So okay, these proteins, they will be antiviral in nature, and they are called as interferons. Now these proteins, they will you can say inform the nearby cells that this cell has been infected by the virus. ठीक है, सपोज हमारे पास एनिमल सेल है, एनिमल सेल जो है उसके वो वायरस से इन्फेक्ट हो गया है, So this cell which has become infected with the virus will release certain proteins, and these proteins, they are called interferons. And once these proteins are released, these proteins, they will inform other cells that now this cell is not a normal cell, it is infected with virus. So because of the interferons which are released by this infected cell, the surrounding normal cells, they will be protected. Okay, surrounding cells, they will be protected. So this basically stimulates the neighboring cells to synthesize a protein that interferes with the viral replication. Okay, everyone. Now, because of this protein, the nearby cells, they have understood that this cell is infected with virus. Now, those normal cells, they will produce a protein, right? These normal cells, they will produce a protein, and this protein will stop the replication of virus. Okay, that will interfere with the virus replication. उसको replicate नहीं होने देगा, multiply नहीं होने देगा. Plus, these proteins, they will also activate your macrophages and natural killer cells. Okay, this will also activate your natural killer cells and the macrophages. Interferons, let's see it. Suppose how does interferons work? Okay, suppose this is your host cell 1, this is host cell number 2. Okay, let's understand. Suppose this is a virus, okay, and it is covered with a you can say it is covered with hard covering coating. Now this virus will enter the cell. Okay, this virus will enter the cell. It will multiply here, right? This is multiplication is occurring, right? And how it will multiply? This the DNA of this virus, it will be incorporated into the cell DNA, and then it will produce mRNA. Okay. Now, because when it is produced inside the mRNA, so there is a change in the DNA, isn't it? Now, because of this, it will release a chemical which is called interferons. Now, the cell will release interferons in the surrounding, and this, now again, because since the viruses, they are multiplying, so they are released from all directions. Now, these interferons, they will go to the next cell. Okay, they will go to the next cell, and they will stimulate the DNA to produce antiviral proteins. Okay, ये nearby cell को stimulate करेगा कि वो इस वायरस के खिलाफ कुछ प्रोटीन्स बना ले. अब जब ये वायरस इस सेल के अंदर एंट्री करेगा तो इसके पास ऑलरेडी अपनी सेना है, अपने सोल्जर्स हैं, दैट इज एंटीवायरल प्रोटीन्स. These antiviral proteins, they will act upon the virus and will destroy it. So आपके जो interferons हैं, ये basically आपके surrounding cell को activate कर देते हैं, so that cell is prevented or protected. And साथ ही साथ ये आपके natural killer cells और macrophages को भी activate कर देते हैं, so that whatever cell which is infected, suppose this cell is infected, so your macrophages and your natural killer cells, they will try to destroy this cell number 1. So that easily the infection can be removed, or the infection does not spread on the nearby cells. Now, coming to your homework for today, everyone. I hope there is no doubt. Any doubt, anyone? Is there any doubt? I think the concept is clear to everyone. Yes. So first of all, you will complete notes in your notebook. Beautifully use your blue sketch pen, underline the headings beautifully, and make sure that you do date wise work. Okay, everyone? And then you will read the page number 150. Just go through this page number, underline the important words which are there in the NCERT. Okay? So along with this video, you will read the page number 150. And if there is doubt, you will contact me on my personal number. Right, everyone? Right. Okay. Bye, everyone.